Breaking news out of Lexington. A traffic stop leads to an arrest in connection with a murder in Lawrenceburg.
A local church is in mourning after 4 members from their congregation perished in a car crash in Texas. Coming up, I'll take you through a special service that was held for the family.
It's a fight that will kill you if you don't let it go.
2 former professional boxers are trying to knock out a problem in southern Kentucky.
WKYT News starts now with breaking news.
We are tracking 2 breaking news alerts tonight. You're watching WKYT. I'm Kristen Kennedy. We begin in Lexington, where police have arrested a man they say is wanted in connection with the murder in Anderson County. WKYT's Caitlin Sentner is pulling court records. She's live downtown. Caitlin, what can you tell us?
Kristen, it was just hours ago, Lexington police saying they were doing a routine traffic stop when they noticed the man they pulled over was wanted for a murder out of Anderson County. 27-year-old Jordan Jackson is behind bars tonight in connection with the 2015 killing of a Lexington teenager. This makes the 5th arrest in the case this month. Just last week, Kendall Berry, William Edwards, Antoine James, and Kenneth Berry were charged in the crime. All 4 were already behind bars and, according to court records, have lengthy criminal records. It was back in October, Kentucky State Police were working a traffic stop near Kentucky State University homecoming after party in Lawrenceburg, and troopers heard multiple gunshots. They rushed to the parking lot of Eagle Lake Convention Center, where they found 18-year-old Michael Bolton's body. Now, we've checked, and Jackson does have a criminal record, including some arrests for drug cases. In Lexington, Caitlin Sentner, WKYT.
Caitlin, thank you. We are also tracking breaking news out of Jessamine County. Deputies tell us around 4 this afternoon, a motorcycle crashed on Old Danville Road near the Garrett County line. We're told the driver of the motorcycle died. They are remembering 4 lives lost. A Lexington congregation mourned for a family today involved in a deadly crash in Texas yesterday morning. The Avalar family was visiting Texas when police say a driver rear-ended their van, pushing them into oncoming traffic. 4 of the family members died. 3 are in the hospital. WKYT's Mike Byer is talking to friends of the family in our top story.
With tears in their eyes, the people of Clays Mill Road Baptist Church held on to one another during a special service for the Avalar family led by Pastor Jeff Fugate.
They have been in our church for these 15 years and have been an intricate part of every ministry of our church.
A church that is in shock after learning that 46-year-old Israel Avalar and his 3 sons, 17-year-old Kevin, 14-year-old Daniel, and 6-year-old Matthew, were all killed in a car accident.
These 4 people are in heaven today, and we're comforted by the knowledge of knowing that they are in heaven.
The crash happened on Highway 315 near Tyler, Texas, where the Avalars were visiting family. Reports say the van they were driving in was rear-ended by another car, pushing them into an oncoming tractor trailer. 3 other family members were also in the van and survived the accident.
And we're certainly praying for the mother, the grandmother, and the 1 daughter that are still alive.
Rich Carr coached Kevin in basketball. Carr says Kevin and his brothers were inseparable.
They were reached through one of the ministries of our church many years ago. Just a fine family, loved each other.
They were young people of great respect and character, all of the children were.
Qualities Pastor Fugate says the boys learned from their father.
He would go out every week inviting folks to church, giving the gospel to people personally.
Now heartbroken, Pastor Fugate says his congregation is made up of strong people who will help each other during this tragic time. In Lexington, Mike Byer, WKYT.
Pastor Fugate says Israel's wife Hilda is in critical condition. Their 11-year-old daughter Kimberly is stable, and his mom Sarah is in fair condition. Kerr Brothers Funeral Home in Lexington is handling arrangements for the 4 killed. Deputies in Laurel County arrested a man this weekend. They say he was hiding drugs in his child's room. Deputies found a half-pound of crystal meth and more than $100,000 inside Dustin Higginbottom's home in London. They say they found the drugs near the spot where his 8-year-old was sleeping. Higginbottom is charged with wanton endangerment. The child is now with his grandparents. And in Boyle County, 2 men are facing charges after deputies found several ounces of meth in a car. They arrested Zane Mitchell and Mark Powell. Both are from Powell County. The deputies' canine, we're told, found 10.5 ounces of crystal meth in their car. They also found $4,000 in cash, pills, and a rifle. Both are charged with trafficking a controlled substance. A Lexington tattoo parlor found a way today to raise funds to replace what thieves stole. The owner of Charmed Life Tattoo says last week someone broke into their shop and stole nearly $15,000 of equipment. Today, they held a benefit show to raise funds to replace what they lost.
We're not trying to make a profit. We're just trying to get back to like this never happened. So, I mean, I guess that's a necessity. But like I said, today, I guess in all of our hearts, it's mainly just to say thank you for hitting us up and making sure we were okay.
The show is still going on at Al's Bar on North Limestone. Entry is $5. What a perfect day to end the weekend with mild temperatures and no rain clouds in sight. WKYT meteorologist Jim Caldwell says we'll see a lot more of this nice weather going into the work week.
It's going to be pretty nice, especially to start things off here. Monday into your Tuesday, more sunshine, which is exactly what we're seeing out there right now. We look to our 9-pack of weather cams. We've got plenty of them. We can show you all across Kentucky, and you see one common sight, especially across parts of central Kentucky and even into around the Louisville area. Plenty of sun, less cloud cover. You get into Jackson there and you see some more clouds because they've been dealing with a little more rain across parts of eastern Kentucky, but overall not a bad looking day at all. And you can even see here where the clouds are, and even a few showers still remain into the mountains. Like compare Prestonsburg there at 69, which is a fine temperature, but look at Lexington at 74, or even Louisville at 81 degrees. Let's break it down over the next several days here this week. Monday, Tuesday, just absolutely wonderful. Temps around normal, warm, pleasant. Wednesday through Friday, showers and storms return, but they're going to be with some heat and humidity, and the same thing as we go into your Saturday and Sunday. The only difference is I think we've got a little more heat that kicks in here by that time period. We'll take a closer look at all of it coming up for you in just a few minutes.
A downtown Lexington building still in the works already has a tenant. Our news partners at the Herald-Leader report Old National Bank will lease 7,000 square feet of retail space on the first floor of the proposed building. It'll be built on Main and Vine. It's expected to be 5 stories tall. The Evansville-based bank will be the main tenant of the building. Construction starts this fall and is expected to be complete next year. This is a fight 2 men plan on winning. Kentuckians have been battling a growing drug problem for years, and now 2 former professional boxers are stepping into the ring to get their shot at eliminating it. WKYT's Mike Linden shows us how they're trying to knock out the problem.
Retired professional boxer Nate Tubbs and his brother Tony are on a mission to bring professional boxing back to the bluegrass. By next month, it's mission complete for the 2 brothers in Corbin.
I'm looking to do a lot of shows down here. I'm looking to make this like a second home. We got a beautiful arena down here. We're going to utilize it.
While the fight card hasn't been finalized yet, Tubbs says the venue has. And for the first time in its history, professional boxing is coming to the Corbin Arena next month.
You've been down too tall for that.
The June 25th event is the first of 4 at Corbin Arena as part of the Lives Matter Put Down the Drugs and Pick Up the Gloves boxing series.
You move backwards for the day.
Tubbs says a portion of the proceeds from each event will go to Operation Unite, a nonprofit charity to fight narcotics addiction in Kentucky.
They get people off drugs, get them into rehabs, get them into basically getting their lives back functionable in the right direction.
Tubbs' brother Tony, a former WBA heavyweight champion and sparring partner of Kentucky native Muhammad Ali, says just like the sport of boxing, battling drug addiction is a fight too.
It's a fight that will kill you if you don't let it go.
A fight the Tubbs brothers intend on winning 1 step at a time.
They do a lot of good things around here, and I want to be a part of that.
In Corbin, Mike Linden, WKYT.
Tickets go on sale next week. Still to come on WKYT, the Kentucky Horse Park has gone to the dogs. We'll take you to a steeplechase involving some unusual competitors.
It can be a breeding ground for crime.
Buildings sitting empty.
Vacancy is not
a good thing.
WKYT investigates the impact abandoned businesses have on the community. Vacant eyesores, Monday at 6 on WKYT.
Get the credit approval you deserve at the all-new Big M Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram in Nicholasville. If you have a job and $199, you can be approved today. During the Drive and Discover event 2016, Jeep Cherokee's $199 a month. Visit BigMSuperstore.com.
I don't want to live with the uncertainties of Hep C.
Or wonder whether I should seek treatment. I am ready.
Because today, there's Harvoni, a revolutionary treatment for the most common type of chronic hepatitis C. Harvoni is proven to cure up to 99% of patients who've had no prior treatment. It transformed treatment as the first cure that's one pill once a day for 12 weeks. Certain patients can be cured with just 8 weeks of Harvoni. Harvoni is a simple treatment regimen that's been prescribed to more than 250,000 patients. Tell your doctor if you've had a liver transplant, other liver or kidney problems, HIV, or any other medical conditions, and about all the medicines you take, including herbal supplements. Taking amiodarone with Harvoni may cause a serious slowing of your heart rate. Common side effects of Harvoni may include tiredness, headache, and weakness. I am ready to put Hep C behind me.
I am ready to be cured.
Are you ready? Ask your Hep C specialist if Harvoni is right for you.
All right, come on, everybody, it's time to go.
Getting more for your money is simpler than you might think. When you shop at Kroger, you get low prices throughout the store, weekly specials, great value from our quality brands, digital coupons, and even fuel points to help you save at the pump. No spin, just savings.
Treat your family to sweet red cherries for just $2.99 a pound and boneless pork chops for $2.88 a pound. Great food, low prices at Kroger.
Raise your hand if you haven't been to the dentist in over a year. I'm coming to you. Aspen Dental wants to make it as easy as possible to get to the dentist. They have something that will make the exam cheaper than that drink in your hand. Bam. Why don't you get on a group text to make sure that you all go? What day did you say?
Thursday anytime.
You're in Thursday at any time.
That was pretty easy. No insurance? Get a free new patient exam and x-rays.
My work is done here.
Dentistry's never been easier. Call 1-800-ASPEN Dental.
At Window World, you get the best price right up front.
Not just any price.
Our lowest price.
Guaranteed. Our windows feature the Good Housekeeping seal.
And come with a lifetime limits warranty.
Act now and get a house full of windows for as low as $79 a month installed.
And save hundreds on siding, doors, shutters, and more.
Best products, best service, best people. Not only do we stand behind our windows, we stand on it.
Window World.
Preferred window installer of the Big Blue Nation.
Save thousands at the all-new Big M Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram in Nicholasville, where you get 25% off MSRP on all the remaining new 2015s in stock. That's up to $14,000 off MSRP. Make the short drive to Big M Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram today.
Get WKYT news and weather updates on 100.1 WKQQ. Now, your hour-by-hour forecast with meteorologist Jim Caldwell.
A gorgeous end to the weekend. A lot of sunshine out there for us today, and temperatures at some pretty comfortable levels. In eastern Kentucky, a little bit of a different story because they had more clouds around, and they were even tracking some showers and storms in that area. Let's see what we've got here in Lexington right now. 74 degrees, winds coming in out of the north-northwest at around 10 miles per hour. Pumping in a drier air mass because that's what you have to the north of us. So 35% humidity at this point. Now in the coming days we're going to watch that increase. There you can even see the flow of our winds. That's what all those little arrows, all those little dots you see, those little white streaks, that's showing you where the winds are coming from. 73 degrees in Mount Sterling, 70 in Danville. You look out in this little corridor, and I highlighted this on a map yesterday of where they would see the best chance of rain, and they're cooler, like Prestonsburg. They're 68 degrees, so compare that to everybody else, and we're a whole lot warmer. Gets even warmer north of here as well as we get into parts of Indiana and off into Illinois. We're in the mid-80s. Showers, thunder showers have been showing up across eastern Kentucky all day. More in the way of sunny skies around here, but as mentioned, that cloud cover kind of spilled over into our area and trying to blow up another little shower, it looks like, there across parts of Elliott County and going over into Lawrence County. Essentially, though, what's happening for us is we're in between two different systems. We've got this system here, the one that has been impacting us. It's going to be moving away, not really a major issue for us anymore. And then we've got one. There's a lot more attached to this than that, but we've got another system that's going to easily try to work its way across the country over the next few days. Eventually it gets here, and it'll bring a chance of some showers and even some thunderstorms. But it's going to be a couple of dry days. You look at the clock there, and we go into your Tuesday, we're fine. You'll see moisture off in the distance, but we are in good shape. It's a very quiet pattern for the early part of the week, and rain really starts to move in here as we get into your Wednesday. That's the next real solid chance when we start tracking it. Here's the 7-day forecast, and that breaks it all down for you a little bit better, with rain returning on Wednesday, storms around there on Thursday. At any given time, you may not reach 79 or 80 degrees due to the nature of these showers and thunderstorms, but maybe a town over they do. So it's going to be a tricky week. Hot and humid week, too, if you're caught in between those showers and storms. Summer-like.
Got a lot of possibilities there at the end of the work week.
That's right, once we get to that point, yeah.
The Kentucky Horse Park hosted a steeplechase today. There were, of course, the horses with daring riders, but there were also some other furry competitors. WKYT's Sean Moody reports.
On a day like this, you'd just about have to be crazy to not get outside.
And it was a beautiful day after all the rain we've had. It's been a gorgeous day.
The crowds who showed up at the High Hope steeplechase at the Kentucky Horse Park had the right idea. With no chance of a triple crown this year, this was plenty of excitement for horse racing fans.
Go horses! Yay!
You don't have to have hooves to participate. There's also some four-legged racing of another kind happening out here, too.
When the horses weren't racing out there, this was just about as entertaining.
That's a good one.
Some of the dogs weren't quite as athletic as the others. Doesn't matter who finished first. On a Sunday like this, everybody's a winner. In Lexington, Sean Moody, WKYT.
The High Hope steeplechase benefits the Kentucky Horse Park Foundation and the group Central Kentucky Riding for Hope. Lee K's in next with sports. What a great day to get out to the ballpark.
It was. You know, the weather finally cooperated at the NCAA Regional Softball Tournament in Lexington, but would the Wildcats bats do the same? An exaggerator wins the Preakness in the slop. That's next in sports.
I don't want to be alone.
Right, come get it. Here we go.
With more selection and savings, you can put more on the grill at Meijer.
This is how precision listens. Bose microphones that hear engine noise, then counter it with the sound-canceling frequency, which helps make the cabin so quiet, you don't miss a thing.
Night, Dad.
Good night, kiddo. It's called active noise cancellation, and it's available in the new, meticulously crafted 2016 Sierra from GMC. This is the precision of professional grade.
Now get nearly $9,000 below MSRP on select 2016 Sierra 1500 models in stock. Visit your Bluegrass GMC dealer today.
With a heavy-duty welded steel deck and exclusive smooth track steering, the Hustler Raptor zero-turn mower doesn't play around. It's got the power to turn your weekend to-do list into your weekend to-done list. The legendary Hustler Raptor family starting at just $27.99. Tools, not toys.
Get your Hustler mower at Huss Equipment in Nicholasville and Big M Discount in Whitley City.
When you participate in a MedPace clinical study, you can expect 5 simple steps to get started, 4 relaxing spaces, 3 catered meals a day, 2 medical experts dedicated to your care, and 1 paycheck up to $5,550. We're looking for generally healthy adults 18 to 55 for a research study of an investigational drug requiring 4 overnight stays at our clinic. MedPace. Get paid to change the pace of medicine.
I'm Philip Weisenberger. My family has been milling grains from Kentucky farmers since 1865. Through 6 generations, we've learned that quality takes hard work. When you buy Kentucky Proud, you help keep our traditions alive. Look for Weisenberger Mills and other Kentucky Proud products available every day at Kroger.
Right now at Kroger, Weisenberger Biscuit Mix is 10 for $10. And pick up Kroger Sour Cream or dips and get 10 for $10. Fresh food, low prices at Kroger.
After the storms, the destruction was huge. If your car, truck, or SUV took a real beating, how are you going to handle the damage, the dings, the dents, the busted windshields? Tell your insurance company you want to take it to Fortune Collision Center, where they even offer rental cars to keep you on the road. Return your vehicle to pre-accident condition. Take it to Fortune Collision. There's a location near you. Get details today at fortunecollision.com.
With more selection and savings, puppies are even more lovable at Meijer.
Kentucky softball played 3 games on Saturday to advance to Sunday's region championship. The Wildcats would need to follow that up with a pair of wins over Utah on Sunday in order to advance to the super regional round. Kentucky did have the home field advantage on their side. A pitcher's duel in the third. Silver Samuel gets a bat on the ball. Should be a routine out at first, but Utah's Miranda Viramontes sails the throw to first high. That allows a run to score. Kentucky is on the board first. Same inning, Nikki Sagerman singles to left. The speedy Samuel headed for home, slides in under the tag safely, and it's 2-0 Wildcats. Kentucky hadn't had a 4-run inning since April the 15th. They do now. That's a 2-run home run by Abby Cheek over the 200 mark in left, gives UK the 4-0 lead, and that's all that they would need. Kentucky takes game 1 4-zip to force a decisive game 2. 45 minutes later, it was on to that winner-take-all game 2 between UK and Utah. Utes with a 1-0 lead in the 5th. Anissa Ertzes finds some open green space in left. Both runners come home to give Utah a 3-0 advantage. Wildcats get one back in the bottom half. Jenny Shaper swings and scores. The solo home run gives Kentucky some life. Now 4-1 Utah in the 6th inning. How about the freshman? Katie Reed just about has a 2-run shot. Instead, it's going to end up a double off the wall, scoring 1 run to make it 4-2. UK would add another run in the inning to pull within 1, but in the top of the 7th, Utah extends that lead. Haley Hilburn singles through the left side. The throw to home is off the mark. Utah extends the lead back to 2, and this one just going final moments ago. 5-3, Utah gets the win. The Wildcats season comes to an end at 46-14 overall. Kentucky baseball stumbled down the stretch, but still managed to finish in SEC play at 500 with Saturday's win over Missouri. Now it's on to the SEC tournament, where the Cats need a good showing to secure a spot in the NCAA tournament. Let's take a look at the bracket here. Kentucky is the 8th seed. They will face the number 9 seed Alabama Tuesday, 5:30 Eastern, in a single elimination first-round game. The Wildcats won 2 out of 3 games against Bama earlier this season. That game will be televised on the SEC network. Reds have been up to no good lately, trying to break a 6-game losing skid this afternoon against the Mariners. First inning, Brandon Phillips rips the 2 RBI double. It's 2-0 Reds. We have a shutout going. 4th inning, Adam Duvall smacks a solo home run, giving the Reds fans something to cheer about. It's been a while. 4-2 Reds. 5th inning, now 4-4, and Steve Clevenger quiets the fans. Smokes the single to left. Nelson Cruz scores. Kyle Seager's going to be thrown out at home, but still the Mariners take a 5-4 lead. Another tough day in Cincinnati. Reds drop number 7, 5-4. On Saturday, Exaggerator accomplished what no other horse had ever accomplished before by beating the Preakness favorite Nyquist. It marked the first time in 5 tries Exaggerator finished in front of Nyquist. Saturday's Preakness win coming on a sloppy track at Pimlico on an off track where Exaggerator excels.
Everybody keeps saying, congratulations, Keith, great job, but I think it's congratulations go to Mother Nature. He obviously moves up in the off track. I played it down all week because I thought the Santa Anita Derby was more about a meltdown pace, but he was just unbelievable. That's the physical side, but mentally he was totally composed and let us do whatever we wanted with him, and what a horse.
Yeah, what a horse he is. In the association last night, the Toronto Raptors handed the Cleveland Cavaliers their first loss of the playoffs. The Cavs still lead the best-of-7 series 2-1. Former Wildcat Patrick Patterson had 10 points and 6 rebounds in the 99-84 win. It was a little bit chippy. Head coach Dwayne Casey, another former Wildcat, wasn't happy with the officiating, but proud of his team's resiliency.
They're a very good team. They're playing the championship caliber basketball. But I just do know that our guys are resilient. They're playing through a lot of physicality, getting hit and fouled. We shot 0 free throws in the fourth quarter, 0. You know, that's frustrating, but our guys played through it, so that shows a sense of toughness.
So the Cavs still lead the Raptors 2-1 in that series. Thunder and Warriors play Game 3 tonight.
You have a favorite right now?
Not really. I guess the Raptors, since they have some Kentucky connections, but I won't be disappointed any way it goes.
We'll be right back with a final look at weather.
Three new kinds of jaw-dropping primetime burgers, only at Frisch's Big Boy.
The sun will come out tomorrow.
For people with heart failure, tomorrow is not a given. But Entresto is a medicine that helps make more tomorrows possible.
Tomorrow, tomorrow, I love you. Tomorrow.
In the largest heart failure study ever, Entresto helped more people stay alive and out of the hospital than a leading heart failure medicine. Women who are pregnant must not take Entresto. It can cause harm or death to an unborn baby. Don't take Entresto with an ACE inhibitor or aliskiren. If you've had angioedema while taking an ACE or ARB medicine, don't take Entresto. The most serious side effects are angioedema, low blood pressure, kidney problems, or high potassium in your blood.
Tomorrow, tomorrow, I love you. Tomorrow.
Ask your heart doctor about Entresto and help make tomorrow possible.
You're only a day away.
Discover Summer will make this summer fun, active, and educational. Pick up your map to adventure at any Lexington Public Library location. Earn points by attending a library program or trying a new library service. Find a complete list of how to earn points at lexpublib.org/discoversummer. Complete your map to adventure by earning 100 points before July 31st and turn in your completed map at any library location to earn a prize and enter for even bigger prizes.
Stanley Steamer is proud to be the first professional cleaning service to be certified asthma and allergy friendly by the Asthma and Allergy Foundation of America. This means our carpet cleaning process removes an average of 94% of common household allergens. And our tile and grout and hardwood cleaning services remove an average of 96%, making your home cleaner and healthier. Call now about our $33 per room carpet cleaning special.
Call 1-800-STEAMER. Stanley Steamer, your certified cleaner.
CareSource insures thousands of members in Kentucky, but we're not built on numbers. We're built on compassion and care. Our commitment? People over profit. CareSource. Caring for the Commonwealth.
Kentucky mornings start here. Breaking and overnight news, weather to plan your day, plus traffic you can take with you. Make WKYT This Morning part of your Kentucky morning. Weekdays from 4:30 to 7 on WKYT.
Three new kinds of jaw-dropping primetime burgers, only at Frisch's Big Boy.
Tuesday night's Mega Millions jackpot is $203 million. Wednesday night's Powerball jackpot is $80 million. Had such a nice day today.
Nice day, and the nice part of all of it will carry over into Monday and into your Tuesday. We get a little bit warmer with some upper 70s, close to 80 degrees, and then we see the rain come back up.
Hope to see you right back here at 11 o'clock tonight.